Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, hi, my name is Monica. I like to post anti-MLM, life, and some true crime content here on this channel. So if any of that interests you, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I would love for you to stick around. In today's video, I am bringing you anti-MLM content, so of course, just as a disclaimer, this video is for entertainment purposes only and just my opinions. Today, I'm going to be reacting to a Monat rep. She is very high ranking, along with also, at the time of filming this, she has a little over 80,000 followers on Instagram. So of course, a lot of people will look to her as an influencer. The way that I stumbled upon this rep was thanks to one of you, and you sent me one of those videos of her explaining why Monat is good for your hair and how she's a hairstylist. But in the beginning of that video, now I'm not certified or licensed, or I didn't go to cosmetology school, none of that. But a lot of my friends did. And with someone who has been going and getting their hair done along with doing it myself and using box dye, don't come for me. I know it's bad. I know it's really bad. I learned my lesson. But for someone who has been getting their hair done and someone who does have just thinner hair than most people, my hair is not thick. I mean, you could see how little of hair I have. She started off that video talking about how the reason why she wanted to become a hairstylist is because she didn't like going to the hair salon and asking for them to get her from one extreme of having really dark hair to the other extreme of wanting platinum blonde hair. And she said that she didn't like that they would do it in a process and that you would leave the salon with just like highlights or something like that. Now again, I'm not an expert. I didn't go to school for this. But from a lot of the friends that I have and from a lot of times that I've gotten my hair done, there is a reason why there is a process where, I mean, you can go from one extreme to another. I would not do it because I've done that before and I fried my hair off. Literally, my hair was coming out and it was just breaking off and I had to cut it. I went from having hair to here, probably actually as long as here, and I had to cut it up to here because it was that bad. I didn't want to react to that video because I can't debunk it without knowing more about hair, without going to cosmetology school is basically what I'm trying to say. So if any of my hairstylists down below in the comments section, if you'd like to take a look at that video and help me debunk it, let me know. After watching that video, I decided to kind of just go through her Instagram, and I found another video of her pitching the business opportunity by using her situation both before the MLM and after the MLM, along with talking about her daughter that she had adopted and that she's thankful for the business because she's able to provide for her daughter. I at first didn't want to react to this because I don't like bringing kids into it, but at the same time, I find it very problematic that she's talking about this and I can't speak for her because I don't know her personally. Maybe she really truly does believe that this business is the reason why she's able to provide for her daughter. But at one point in the video, she talks about how she's a celebrity hairstylist. So is it really because of the MLM? Anyway, before I just tell you guys about the entire video, let's get into this reaction video and let's roll this tape.
Hey, hello everyone. Good afternoon. Okay, so I wanted to come on and just talk about a couple things. Because by now, if you're seeing this, maybe you follow me, maybe you don't, but there are a couple things that have gone on in my life the last few years that I feel like is really crazy. And when I think about it in terms of where we are now and where we've come from, it's night and day. It's insane. And some people have been with us and followed our my daughter and my account I started, oh my gosh, 6 years ago, and what a wild ride it's been on by just taking and making the decision to like share our diversity, let me quickly recap. My husband and I, we were diagnosed with infertility, and I actually get a lot of messages about that. And, you know, honestly, I'm going to chalk it up to our prayer life and our faith, and the fact that we had been through so much tragic loss. My dad dying, mom, I mean, it was a lot going on in our life that we were like, okay, we need joy now. So we adopted our daughter. She has special needs. She came super early, and a lot transpired in our life in a very short time frame, and a lot of uncertainties came around. A lot. How are we going to afford this? How are we going to give her the best life possible? What does that look like? I mean, they told me early on that she might not ever walk or talk. She was like 3 days old when they told me that. She had a brain injury. I mean, it was a lot of things. And our life ultimately has brought us to, had brought us through, you know, so many ups and downs, and we were able to fundraise for her to get this crazy surgery.
I wanted to stop it there because as much as I really, really don't want to critique this part of the video, because it does sound like they went through a lot, and it does sound like they had to overcome a lot with the deaths that they had in the family, with the fact that I'm gonna give her props. I don't care how problematic of an MLM rep she is, for her to adopt a child, and to also adopt a child that has special needs. I think that that is a very beautiful thing, and I think that that does take a lot of time and commitment, and I can't say anything bad about that. I really can't. And I do feel bad that they were diagnosed with infertility. The thing that I wanted to critique is the fact that she's using those experiences as a way to kind of start talking about the business. And while I have no problem with people talking about their experiences, and I think that her talking about her losses, the tragedies that they've encountered in their life, and infertility, and then adopting a child, I think it's so great that she's talking about that, because it needs to be talked about more. Because a lot of people are, I know people who have gone through that, not adopted, but, well, there was a couple that I know that did adopt, but I know people who have gone through infertility, who have gone through that, and it is a horrible, horrible, I want to say one of the most horrible things to go through. And so I applaud her for bringing awareness to that. But I don't applaud her for the fact that she's going to end up using that as a way to pitch Monat.
And, you know, a majority of the donations were like $5. And it's so crazy because that we fundraised $60,000 in like 3 weeks. I mean, it was insane. It was totally a God thing, and obviously people are obsessed with her. She's amazing. She's like, she's magnetic, and there just is something special about her. I mean, I know I'm her mom, so I know I'm biased, but there really is. And it just showed me what a bunch of people coming together and doing a little bit can do. And in the same regard, what these little tiny milestones in between major miracles, is all these little tiny milestones, or inch stones, some people call them, that lead to miracles, right? So I believe every single yes I've ever said in my life and good decision I've made has brought us to the point where we are now, where we're growing our family. We got 3 kids, which I think is nuts, you know, and we don't ever have to like worry about how we're going to provide her with something. It's literally able to come because of the business venture that I took 3 years ago. And I'm sure I'm going to lose some followers as soon as I say that, because I was one of you. I was someone that was like, oh, they're selling something. But look, a lot of people are going to share this video that are not on my team. Okay, so it doesn't directly benefit me. I would keep this to my little bubble and make it exclusive. I wouldn't be sharing it freely if I didn't believe so.
She doesn't benefit from it. But yes, she does, because she's going to grow her team. She's going to get more clientele or customers, whatever you want to call them. But so she does benefit from it. And see what I was talking about, how she went from talking about her situation and now how everything changed because of the business. And I wanted to add something too, because I didn't talk about this in the beginning and I meant to talk about this, but I'm going to pop up some pictures of hers, of her hair. And honestly, I don't know if it's from the color, because she's very, very, very blonde. So I don't know if it's because of the color that she's been, whether it's her doing it herself or going to a salon. I know that my hairstylist, certain things she doesn't do herself. She actually has one of her friends do it. For example, extensions. But I mean, that's something that you really have to, like, you have to get back there and everything. So, but there are a few pictures and I wanted to, let me just pull them up real quick. This first one, it's supposed to show her hair transformation. And the caption says, "It's not a miracle, it's Monet." So that's her hair now. In my opinion, I may be wrong, but her hair looks damaged. And I know my hair looks damaged, so I think I would know what damage looks like. But what I find interesting, and because I tried Monet way long ago, back when they first started in like 2014, because one of my blogger friends, who we're not friends anymore, as soon as I started doing anti-mlm content, I tried to stay away from Monat because I didn't want to upset her or anything, but then she blocked me, all of that. What I noticed when I tried the product is my hair was greasy, but almost straw-like at the same time. I don't know if that makes sense, because how is that possible? So when you touch my hair, it felt like it was so greasy and I couldn't do anything with it. It was just like, it felt gross. And as soon as I used that product, I went and I re-washed my hair with my regular shampoo, because I was like, there's something wrong. There's something wrong with this shampoo. But then if you looked at my hair, it looked more damaged than it does now. And back then, I was not coloring my hair. I had my natural hair. I didn't have any bleach or anything like that in it. So I was shocked, because why is it doing that? But then the second picture in this, because it's one of those carousel photos on Instagram, the second picture, it shows her original hair. Her hair in that picture does look really bad. But I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me, because in that first picture, she's like tilting. So of course your hair is going to be longer. I mean, if I go like this, okay, look at how much longer my hair is. But then when I lift my head back up, it's back to this. So this and this, and that's what she did. So I don't know if it's what she did, because when I start coloring my hair, which is what I started doing back in October, I've only done it 2 times. I did it in October and then I did it in June. And whenever I'm doing something like that, I use a lot of vitamins. I do a lot of deep conditioning treatments. But correct me if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. Shampoo is not going to make your hair grow. And the fact that in the original video, when she was talking about how she had like all of these like baby hairs that were popping out of her hair, and that it wasn't breakage, it was new growth, I don't know. I find it hard to believe. I probably should have talked to a hairstylist before I even started talking about this. But if you look at the rest of her pictures, her hair doesn't really look all that much better. And like I said, I don't know if it's because it's very obvious that she's bleaching her hair. I don't know if that's why it looks the way that it does, but I don't think it looks healthy. And it really doesn't look that, I mean, it's obviously longer, but judging by some of her other pictures, it does look like she uses extensions too, because her hair tends to look longer in other pictures. I may be wrong, but anyway, rambled too much. Let's get back into it.
Openly about it, the same as I share my faith, okay? Because there's so many people out there that are struggling, that are suffering, and that don't think that this is an avenue that could absolutely help them. But it can't. As long as you are open-minded, you say yes, and you don't just say yes once, you keep saying yes. So there's going to be 3 things that you are going to...
I know. I stopped it very, very fast, but I forgot to mention something earlier, is that she's already using religion. And if you guys have been around for a while, you know I absolutely hate that. I hate when they use religion. I don't practice religion anymore, but I did grow up religious. And that pisses me off a lot when they use religion. Then on the other hand, I've noticed that a lot of reps have started saying that, well, if you're open-minded, then try this opportunity. It's not being open-minded, because of course they would call me a hater or they would call me closed-minded. But I tried being part of an MLM before, number 1. Number 2, there is more research and legitimate sources that back up being anti-MLM rather than being pro-MLM. Does being in an MLM work for some people? Yes, it does. It clearly does. But that's because these people are at the top of the triangle structure. And in order for the MLM structure to work, they need to have people at the bottom of this pyramid, basically, is what it is. They need to have people at the bottom, because the people at the top, they cannot make money without the entire downline and the entire team below them. They cannot keep going without that. So, yes, is it possible that some people can make money? Yeah, it is. But 99.6% of people are going to make little to no money, or they're going to be in the red and they're going to lose money. I know from experience too.
That you are going to lie to yourself. 4 things. There's going to be 4 things you're going to tell yourself that's going to walk you or stop you out of this. You want to know what they are? Because I bet you're thinking one of them. Number 1, I'm not a celebrity hairstylist. That's why Christina's doing great. She's a celebrity hairstylist. Okay, first and foremost, that might be why I have a ton of customers. That might be why I have a ton of customers, but I will tell you, it did not take one post of mine to get all my customers. It's taken years of actually posting consistently. And you know why I post consistently?
She's a celebrity hairstylist. She's going to have the upper hand. Just like in one of my previous videos that I reacted to last week, talking about celebrities and MLMs and how these celebrities, they have an upper hand. The reason why is because, first of all, they have a very large platform and a very large audience, very large network. Second of all, a lot of people, if they see someone at a certain status, or let's say for this girl, she's a celebrity hairstylist. So when you think of that, you think, well, I mean, if she's working on hair and if she's doing all of this stuff for really big, well-known people, she must know what she's talking about. She must know what she's doing. And even a regular hairstylist that does hair on someone like me, that fixes my hair, that makes my hair look the way that I want it to, or as best as they can, you look at them as an expert. You look at them because they studied this. They studied the anatomy of hair. They studied all of the chemistry that goes behind creating colors or changing someone's color. So you trust that they know what they're talking about. And that's why I think that, because she said, well, that may be why. No, girlfriend, that is why. That is why. And because of that network, you were able to build your network even more and build your team even more and have so many clients. That is why. If you're doing hair on multiple different celebrities, it doesn't take rocket science to know that that is how she built her Monat business.
I post consistently because I believe in the products. Okay, my bangs that now exist speak for themselves. And actually, the girl that I show a picture all the time about my like stringy extensions. She is signing up as a market partner. The girl that did that to me, like, oh my gosh, over a decade ago. She surprised me on one of the calls. She's like, hey, I think I did those extensions. I'm like, oh my God, like so crazy. So I'm like, but if I wasn't consistently talking about this and posting about this, people might not ever have seen it. Okay, so you have to believe in what you're doing, and I don't ever want anyone to join me or use the products that don't trust me and I want people to believe, and I want people to become obsessed is what I want. Obsessed with wanting more for themselves, obsessed with growth, obsessed with being positive. Actually tonight I'm doing a training, very special. I'm going to be revealing a few things about myself that I've actually never shared before. And it's going to be all about toxicity and like eliminating toxic things from your life. And you guys, I probably would never have gotten to this point where I was like,
toxic positivity is a thing in the MLM industry. You'll hear a lot of anti-MLMers, whether they be content creators, Instagram accounts, or just people that are very anti-MLM and they aren't as outspoken. You'll hear a lot of people talk about toxic positivity because when you're in an MLM, you are taught that only positivity. And while I do think that it's great to have a positive mindset and to not be so pessimistic. So basically, I think it's fine to be optimistic, but it can't be to the point where everything has to be positive and that you're not allowed to have any negativity in your life, because you're going to go through things in your life. You're going to have negative things happen to you in your life, but you can't allow yourself to be in this bubble or this dream world of everything is positive, because everything is not going to be positive. Everything is not positive. There are people out there who have never, ever experienced anything good in their life. And you're gonna sit here and say, well, you just have to make the best of it, and no negative thoughts are allowed, because as soon as you start thinking positive thoughts, everything's gonna fall into place. That's not how it works. That is not how it works.
Black and white with what I'm allowing in my life and spending my time doing, if it wasn't for the series of circumstances that brought us to this point. So you're gonna tell yourself that, oh, I'm not a celebrity hairstylist, okay? No, you know what? Pretty much no one on my team is. I have a few, okay? But I have girls killing it, fashion majors, senior buyers, woodworkers and bloggers and influencers, estheticians that, had in-home studios, oh my gosh, teachers, nurses, girls from other direct sales companies, just stay-at-home moms, introverts, people with private Facebook and Instagram pages, that are not public, that are not big influencers, that are not branding extraordinaires, regular, I'm gonna say amazing, but they wouldn't think there's anything special about them. And I'm like, you know what? That's what's so special about you, is that you're you. And I get to share with people all the time on how they can make themselves the best version of themselves. Literally. It is my ministry. It is my purpose. It is what.
That is something that is very common in MLMs as well, is that you are supposed to become the best version of yourself, which is why they make you, I won't even say encourage anymore, which is why, because when I was in Beachbody, because Mary Kay wasn't as bad, but it was, but with Beachbody, my team was so heavily focused on personal development. If I didn't check in with my upline, and if I didn't tell them that I read a chapter out of some kind of personal development book that night, It was, you really need to read your personal development because you need to become the best version of yourself. And while yes, there is a time and place for personal development, and I do think that if that's something that you need to read, if that helps you in life, then yeah, go ahead, read it. But there's just such a big emphasis on it in MLM companies, because it's almost as if these MLM companies don't think that you're a good person before you go into the MLM. The company is trying to mold you from who you currently are and mold you into this perfect MLM version of you. Because she's talking about how the people on her team are very special, but that she's getting people to become the best versions of themselves. Well, if they were so special, why are you trying to change them? Why do you think that they're not the best version of themselves right now? So that's something that to keep in mind. And like I said, personal development is huge in the MLM industry.
One of the things that I've become so passionate about, and it all boils down to this: confidence. Okay? So it takes confidence to take a leap and do this. It really does. And it takes bravery. And the thing is, people go, oh, well, I would be afraid of judgment or afraid of this. We all are afraid of that, but we do it anyway. That's literally what bravery is doing it even though you're afraid, right? And this is something she taught me, you guys. She is terrified of falling, literally. And I don't know where the fears come in, and it gets really, really, really scary. And it's like, it's upsetting to me to see her so afraid of falling when I know she's going to be okay. And so she used to teach me that, because she was so fearless, and she would just get up and she would walk or try to walk, and she didn't care if she fell. And now that she's older, she's gotten to a point where she's more afraid. And now I am the one to coach her. No reason to be afraid. And it's, you guys, you can only do this so much with your core circle, the people you live with, the people you love more than anything, before you realize that's all everybody needs around you, is literally someone in their corner, someone cheering them on, someone that's so excited for them and wants the best for them. And that is what I get to be, not only for my family, but also for anybody that joins me. Anybody. And we celebrate every inch stone, okay? And if you're like, I don't know how to sell products, guess what? If you're okay with talking to people, I can absolutely show you how to sell products, because these products really do sell themselves. Now, you're also going to tell yourself, I don't have time. And you guys, I was right there with you. That was the one thing I said to my friend was, I don't have time for this. Okay, I had 3 jobs at the time. I ran, which is a successful blog. We had a lot of, sponsored posts and collaborations and things that had contracts and very serious. And that was a lot, okay? Then we also had, I worked for a reality TV show. That was my 4th job, okay? And at the drop of a hat, I could have to go film all day, and there goes my whole schedule, okay? And it was a lot. And I remember my husband being like, you're not going to do one more thing that's going to take you away from our family, are you? And I'm like, no, but really, I really wanted to, because I saw the products perform. I had never, ever, as a product educator, forever seen a naturally based product substantially relieve psoriasis, or give hair a Brazilian blowout effect, or create shine. And I was like nervous, okay? Talk about afraid. I was like, I heard it makes your hair fall out. I heard there's lawsuits. I heard all these things, okay? But I'm telling you, I've done this for 3 years. I have one of the highest amounts of VIP customers in the...
So she talks about how she has the highest amount of VIP customers. I wonder why. Is it because you're a celebrity hairstylist? Along with that, she talked about shine, but her hair, when I look at it, maybe it's me, but her hair doesn't look shiny. It looks very damaged, and it looks, I don't know, maybe it's just me, and I'm sorry if I'm coming off as like I'm judging or anything like that, but I would not take hair advice from her. Editing Monica here, I wanted to add to this as well that she talked about how it helped with psoriasis, and of course that is a claim. I would consider that a health claim because psoriasis is a very serious issue to have, and for her to go on to say that she's seen this product or combination of products help with that, it gives false hope to the people that do have that kind of issue, especially if, let's say that, for example, they had a reaction to the Monat products, and let's say that they had those sores that you see in the pictures and in the lawsuits. That would be devastating. And so that's something I also wanted to add in here. But anyway, let's get back to the video. The whole, oh, I heard that it makes your hair fall out. There are lawsuits. And there are photos, and there's evidence out there that shows this. So you can't just say, oh, well, I heard. No, there's information out there that shows that this is a real thing. There's someone that I know that they put this on their daughter's hair, and her hair has still yet to recover. It's been a very, very long time. Very long time. And it came out in clumps.
Entire company, I've yet to see it. Okay, I have a ton of customers. Now, there are people that use the products that are allergic. You usually know right away, but not all allergies are instant. Some take a little bit, but redness, itchiness, sores, allergy. Stop using. What happens if you keep using something you're allergic to? Not good things. But there's a 30-day money-back guarantee, and honestly, any of my customers that have developed an allergy, 60 days, 90 days, whatever, we either swap out products for them.
I think that if there's so many people that are having this issue of getting sores on their head or on their scalp and how their hair's falling out, because she talked about in the other video that I mentioned earlier on, when she was trying to explain why Monat is not bad for you. She talks about in there that it's normal to shed hair. Yes, it is normal to shed. You're supposed to shed, what is it, like 100 strands of hair a day? And she talked about that in her video, and she said that she wasn't shedding any hair, and that when she started using Monat, she started shedding hair, and it was like the first time in a really long time. And that was her hair starting to sprout new hair, and that her hair is so much thicker now. I don't know.
Okay, no cost to them. I swap them out a product, okay? And if you're a rep on this, I want you to really, 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 really hear me when I'm saying this. I swap out a product, no charge to that customer, okay? Because sometimes people are allergic to one thing because of the ingredient, okay? And then not another. Like I have tons of girls on my team that, you know, and even for me, my scalp is a little more sensitive to Revive for whatever reason, but I can use Renew, Black, Smoothing, any of them. Restructuring, anything, just a little tender to Revive. So it's not like, oh, I'm allergic to all of Monat. No, like you have options, and that's what you have a rep for. Like that's why it's so cool to have a rep, that you can have someone to swap you or send you a sample.
The thing is though, is that the reps are not hairstylists. They did not go to school for this. They don't know the anatomy of hair. So how can you say that you have a rep for a reason, you have a rep that can help you out with this, when the rep isn't qualified to talk about? It's just mind-boggling to me, and so irresponsible. And I don't know how MLM companies can get around this, because I usually have most of my issues with the health and wellness ones. So like Beachbody and Herbalife, because how is someone who's not licensed or certified as a dietitian or a nutritionist or a personal trainer able to give out this advice. And now I'm not saying that you can't sell products, because people sell products all the time. If you go into Target, there's people there who will help you in the makeup section. And it's just, when she talks about how that's why you have a rep if you have some kind of allergy, they're not qualified in that.
Whatever, okay? So I love that relationship I have with my customers. Now, so you're gonna say, you know, I've heard all the bad things, I've yet to see them, okay? And what is like this, the quote is, believe half of what you see and none of what you hear, okay? So that's why I always tell everybody, I'm like, have you tried it though? Have you tried it on you? Okay, well we'll talk when you try it on you, and you're gonna have that miracle, because you're gonna be like, oh my God, I didn't know my hair could be this shiny, this healthy, this beautiful, because it will, okay? It's that good. So you don't know who you're gonna sell to. At the top of our comp plan, which is where I am now, after 3 years of being in this business, okay? So you have all you need is about 5 customers that order from you that month at the top of the comp plan. Is that crazy? 5 people. Do you know 5 people? That's what's insane, okay? So if you don't need hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of clients and customers, you just need a small little grouping that's gonna be
I wonder why that is. Is it because when you're at the top of the company, you have a massive downline? So you depend on their success, or you depend on what they buy, whether it's PV or whether it's just they're buying it for themselves, or they're buying it to make rank. Is it because of that? Is it? Probably just a little bit.
Ordering from you, and guess what? When their product runs out, they're gonna want more, because they're gonna have the best results, okay? So that's what's really cool about that. And then the second thing is, you're gonna tell me, you know, that you don't have time or whatever. Like I said, that was the second thing, that you don't have time. And I was there, like I said, but with anything else, if you are with the right mentor, and this is something I really pride myself in, is strategically spending your time doing actual things that are going to be income producing activities, okay? We call them IPAs. I have it down to a science. I'm telling you, I have girls that join me that hit their first rank, second rank, and they're like, gosh, with all the resources you give me, I literally would have to try not to do good. And I'm like, see, as long as you're okay with talking to people and posting on your social media or talking to people, one or the other, you don't have to have a lot of following. But it's literally like you have to try not to start succeeding in this, okay? Literally, you have to dig your heels in the ground and be like, nope, not doing that, not doing that, not doing that. But if you're game, if you're game and you have a little bit of competitive drive in you, boom. Okay, so I don't have time, I don't have money. This is the other big thing. I don't have money. I've seen girls go around their house and, you know, sell things to get to the point where they're like, okay, I can buy my product pack, okay? Our smallest product pack comes out to $227 with tax here in the state of California. I don't know actually what the tax is everywhere else, but let's say $230. So that's what it comes down to here. I've seen people go around their house. I've seen people borrow money from their friends. I've also seen people just say, okay, you know what? I'm going to budget it in, and I'm not going to buy X, Y, and Z the following month. I've seen people say, you know what? I really want to do this as a business, and I strategically am working with them. And I'm like, you know what? If you really want to do this, let's do this. I want you to reach out to, you know, your warm market, which is your friends and family, and see who would support you in this. And let's get on a call, and I will walk them through all the amazing things that, you know, like basically an opportunity call and just my true story, okay? And just, you know, let them hear about it from someone that's doing it and doing it well. And then I'm gonna say, you know, if you can get 2 or 3 of them to join you, you're basically making your money back. Right then and there, the day you sign up, we're gonna just start rocking and rolling. So just because you necessarily can't afford the product pack right now doesn't mean you can start setting yourself up to be able to afford it, if that makes sense. You start recruiting.
So she talks about how to ask your friends and family or to budget it in. Well, she didn't talk about using a credit card, at least not yet. I can't remember if she says it in the video or not, but a lot of times you'll hear that from reps too. Just put it on a credit card. How do you think I ended up with a shit ton of Mary Kay inventory? At the time, I had a ton of credit card debt along with student loans. I still have my student loans, but it's to the point where I'm just paying it off, no big deal. But the credit cards were what was really, really holding me back. Those credit cards were just really holding me back. And so I told her my Mary Kay upline, and I said, I can't afford it. I'm sorry, but I can't even afford the smallest starter pack. And somehow, I have no idea how she did it, but somehow she latched onto that credit card thing, and she latched onto that student loan thing, and she said that, well, this can pay off all of your debt. It can pay off all of your student loans. This could be your full-time job. You could have financial freedom. And then she proceeded to say, because I told her, I was like, I don't have the money for it. Well, can't you put it on a credit card? And I told her, I was like, all of my credit cards are maxed out. I have one that is for emergency purposes only if I'm in a really, really tough spot. Well, she got me to open up a Mary Kay credit card that had 0 interest on it for X amount of months. Yep. And guess what my dumb ass did? I bought the one large, very large, over $1,000 large starter pack because she told me that it'll automatically start you at a sapphire rank, which is higher. So I had, no joke, I forget how tall it was, but a storage container that was probably, I can't even put the height in the camera, but it was like really big, filled with Mary Kay products. And I was my best customer, my mom was my best customer, and I had one friend who is pro MLM. She's been in multiple MLMs, who, because she was pro MLM and because she's been in so many MLMs, she wanted to support me in my business.
If that makes sense. You start recruiting before you click join now, and then that way it's all bing, bang, boom. And let's say today is a Thursday. So anybody who signed up today, you wouldn't get paid on tomorrow because tomorrow's Friday. We get paid every single Friday for the week before. You would get paid next Friday. So it's like not even 2 weeks you'd have to wait to start getting paid. And I know so many girls that are like, whoa, after they get their first check, and it's super cool. So it's very exciting, and it is real. And the products are amazing. And I am not someone that, I don't know, I'm not a liar. I truly value my business. I truly value my team. I truly value my relationships. I truly value my company. And I stand firm with my company. And I've never, my husband has been in corporate sales for a long time, and he even is like, there's just something very special about the Monat family. And
talks about how her husband has been in corporate for so many years. So he's bringing in some money, isn't he? So your money situation is not all from Monat. It's from your husband. It's from all of her other business ventures. And honestly, all of the other things that she talks about are legitimate businesses. And or you can also call it freelancing, but celebrity hairstylist. She has a blog, and she said that it was a successful blog. So she has other avenues. And this is something that I will say that it's smart for her to have investments in different places, not just all in one. So not just all in Monat. Because if Monat shuts down tomorrow, let's say that something happens and they close up shop, sorry everybody, you're out of a job. She still has other jobs that can provide for her family. This is just like an added thing for her, honestly. It's just like an add-on. Then she talked about the Monat family, how her husband said that the Monat family is probably There's something special about it. What is she pitching? Sisterhood. I've talked about that so many times on this channel, but she's pitching sisterhood. That's something that is a tactic, because some people, that's what they're looking for. They're looking for that friendship, especially because they target military spouses. When your spouse is stationed somewhere, or if they get moved around, you lose your group of friends every single place that you go. So if you join an MLM, you automatically have a group of people, a group of friends. But guess what? They're only your friends when you're making them money. They're only your friends when you're in the MLM. I talked about that. When I left the MLMs, I don't talk to those people anymore. I'm still friends with some of them on Facebook. Other ones, they deleted me or they blocked me, and that's fine. I don't care. Because I don't want a fake friendship. I don't want a friendship where the person on the opposite side has to put on a facade. Because that's not a real friendship to me.
I have to agree. So that is kind of what I wanted to say, is just like, we have a crazy wild ride with this, and you're gonna hear those little voices in your head telling you, I don't have time, I don't know who I'm gonna sell to, no one's gonna wanna buy from me, or, I don't have money. But those are things that are just stopping you those are excuses.
They're not excuses. Listen to those inner voices. If those are things that you're questioning, if those are things that are in your mind, I will never recommend someone to start an MLM company. But if those are things that are going on in your mind, do not join. This is it's just FOMO. These reps, they're constantly trying to make it seem like you're going to miss out on such an amazing opportunity. And how Monat is not that old of a company. They're fairly new because they started in 2014, so we're only going to go up and up and up from here. But if you're having those kinds of doubts, or if someone in your family, if your spouse, if your mom, if your dad, if your siblings are telling you, you might want to think about this, because I don't think this is a good idea. The people that are closest to you, most of the time, not all of the time, but most of the time, they're just looking out for you. They really are. They're just looking out for your well-being, and they want you to succeed in life. Like I said, not all the time, but most of the time. So if you have those thoughts, if you have those doubts, those are not excuses. Those are not excuses, and do not let these MLM reps tell you otherwise.
And you gotta go for it, because you know what? If you're watching this and you're like, okay, I've actually thought about this and I think I might do this, and you feel that like little tugging in your soul, you're gonna do it at some point. You really are. I've seen it happen. That was me.
You wanna know why you're going to eventually do it? If you eventually do it? Because as soon as you ask a rep any kind of question, they're going to badger you over and over and over again until, one, you either yell at them, or two, you block them. That is why you'll eventually, join this company.
And when we join and we get in and we start really finding out how it works, and like all these amazing like ins of the company, like when you're on the other side, when you're in, we go, oh my gosh, I wish I would have joined sooner. All of us. And then we go, I wish I would have bought a bigger product pack. That's what we all say. It's so funny, like clockwork, but I get it. And I've been where you are, and I've looked and tried, I've raked. I remember looking through this like with a fine tooth comb, like where are the catches? And the one thing I said to my husband was, I'm gonna buy products anyway. And with this, I'm never gonna have to buy anything ever again. Like I could literally turn it into commissions and there's no monthly anything. I mean, that right there should tell you it's not a scam, because how does the company make money if they're not charging you something every month for doing it? Every other direct sales company I had tried before, because I wasn't anti-MLM by any means, but I was anti a hair care one because I was a product educator and a professional hairstylist. And I'm telling you, this is the hands down best products and company behind products that I have ever put my hands on. And I'm so grateful for the opportunity to be able to be a rep in this capacity, because it has literally changed our entire life. And to not have to worry for our daughter that needs surgeries, that needs different treatments, that requires a physical aid, to not have to worry about her future is priceless. And that's what I'm going to leave you with.
Stopping it there, notice how she wrapped it all back up into the whole, what she talked about in the beginning about her daughter. Again, I will applaud her for doing something so amazing and for adopting a child, especially a child with special needs, because we just saw the big blow up on YouTube about Micah Stauffer, or however you say her name, and her husband rehoming their adopted child. Savvy Writes Books did an amazing video on this. So for her to really take care of her daughter and really truly want the best for her daughter, I will give her a lot of props for that, because that is not easy. And the whole part where she was like, oh, it's not a scam, and because she's successful. But as I've said multiple times, 99.6% of people make little to no money or lose money. And that is a legitimate source. So for her, I don't know. And another thing too, and I mention this a lot, but the fact that these MLM reps have to constantly talk about how this business changed our life and how they're able to buy this and how they were able to buy a new house, how they're able to provide for their children, how they're able to stay at home and work from home. That's not what an actual business owner does. I know that it's part of their job, but if you have to constantly defend what you do for a living, or if you have to constantly defend the company that you work for because it's not your own business, you're an independent contractor for that company, you have no control over certain things. If I want to change the prices here at our store, I can change the prices. If I don't want to carry something anymore, I don't have to carry it. Or if I want to introduce a new product, I can do that. But in this situation, they have no control over that. And if they want to try to argue that it's a franchise, no, it is not. And the reason why it's not like a franchise, while there are some similarities, franchises, they have a team that does a market analysis and they look into market saturation. So if there's a McDonald's on this side of the street, they're not going to open one on the opposite side of the street. Whereas with an MLM company, they don't care about market saturation because the MLM reps are the MLM company's best customers. So that's why if they ever try to argue that, there's a simple answer, there's a simple way to debunk that. The thing is that a lot of these reps, they all kind of repeat themselves, and it's usually the same narrative but a different rep or a different day or a different company. Sometimes they even repeat themselves over and over and over again. That's what I wanted to cover today. And if you have watched up to here, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to hit like, subscribe, or even dislike, whatever tickles your pickle. And I'll see you guys next time. This is Monica reporting to you live from a highway. Bye.